Welcome back to our talk on character. This is John Patrick Hickey, and we've been talking about the tools that we need for building good character. And I want to talk to you about input. Input is the things that we put in, and we're all familiar with the old sayings of garbage in, garbage out, and we are what you eat, all the different input sayings that we have. And they're true. It's important that we watch what it is that we put in, not just what we eat and the physical things we put in our body, but mainly the things we put in our head. And a lot of times we do things without really thinking that they're causing us any problem. But we do need to think about it, the same as we need to think about whether or not what we're eating is causing us problems. If you eat a lot of junk food, if you eat a lot of fats, fried foods, sugar, it's not only going to make you gain weight, it's going to make you sluggish. It's going to make you have other health issues. When you see those issues coming and you think, well, what is it that's making me feel this way? And you might analyze it yourself. You might even go to a doctor and say, I just haven't been feeling right, and I have no energy. I just can't seem to get myself going right. And then the doctor says, well, change your diet. Eat something healthier. And you change your diet, you eat healthier food, and you find that you build up that energy, and you're feeling better, and you get this sugar out of your life, and you're doing much better. The same goes with your head. That a lot of times we've been listening to music, the movies we watch, things we read, can be very negative. If you're somebody who is addicted, and in a minute I'll give you my own story here of someone who's addicted to the news and constantly listening to the news, and all of a sudden you're thinking, well, why am I depressed all the time? Why am I feeling so negative about things? Well, it's the stuff you're putting in your head. And if you change that, you'll change the way that you're feeling, because it affects us so much. And I said, I'll tell you my own story, and it was, at the beginning of, just before the election season last year, I've been always a big, person who likes the news. I watch the news in the morning, I listen to talk radio, I listen to a lot of news, I read things about the news, I'll read books about current events. It's just something I like to be aware of, and just really getting into the news. And there were a lot of things going on, and I don't want to get into the specifics just because that's not the point of what I want to say. But with all that was going on, I found that I was becoming depressed. I found that I was becoming very negative in my thinking, that because I tend to be an optimist, and my optimism was fading away, and I thought, well, this can't be good. And it didn't take me a long time to figure out it might be what I've been putting in my head. So I decided that I would go on a news fast, and I stopped, and I didn't watch any news, I didn't do anything for several months. And sure enough, I felt better. I felt things were good. I felt more positive. I felt back on track, and everything was great. Then I started taking things back, because I thought, okay, I'm in a good place now. I can start listening again. It took far less of that information to get me back to that depressed state than it did the first time. So I just decided it didn't need to be part of my life anymore. It's not that I'm ignoring what goes on in the world. I keep myself alert as far as major events. I could tell you what's going on as far as major things. I know what I believe. I know what I need to be aware of. But the constant bickering and battling that goes on, I don't need to be a part of that. I'm not going to change that, and I don't need to have it change me. You know, it's going to affect me more than I'm going to affect it. So I'm just going to remove that from my life. And I encourage you to do that with any area of your life. What do you listen to for music? You know, back in the 60s, you know, I'm an old rock and roller from the 60s. And I always said, well, I'm never going to tell my kids what music to listen to. You know, I'll be open to all kinds of music. Well, here we are in the age of rap, and I hate rap. I'm sorry, I do. Makes no sense to me. And I find most of it very negative and very, not very edifying at all. And so, I'm not saying that you shouldn't listen to it, because, again, I understand it's different tastes, just as my parents felt about my music. But I do know that there were music that I listened to that I enjoyed that I can't listen to because of the message, because it was taking me in a place I didn't want to be. And I encourage you to have that wisdom to know if something's giving you a message that is making you negative, that is making you feel depressed or down, remove those things from your life. If the movies you watch are too violent or too negative as far as giving you a bad attitude on things, don't watch them. You know, we have that great freedom that we don't need to have these things. Yes, you may enjoy them. That's the purpose of them, is to give you something you enjoy. But it doesn't do you any good if it's going to cause negative reaction. I'm not saying move a whole genre of movies or music out of your life. I'm just saying be selective of what you have. And in being selective, make sure that you do things that are positive and that are going to help you to improve. Now we have one more tool that we're going to talk about in our little toolkit here, and we're going to get to that in our next video. For the Growth Center, this is John Patrick Hickey, and I do want to encourage you to live your purpose and change your world.